I'm your girl, Miss Sophia, holding it down right here on WERUradio, home of every music for the LGBTQI community and me. Between the hours of 2 p.m. and 6 p.m., this is Club Chit Chat. That's right. You know how we do it, honey. We're going to be talking about sports, politics, entertainment, and a little of this and a little of that. That's why we call this Club Chit Chat, baby. With the happy hour coming to you at 5 p.m. like no other happy hour you've ever experienced. So make sure you're around during our happy hour. Hey, I'm your girl, Miss Sophia, holding it down right here on WERUradio, home of urban music for the LGBTQI community and me. Come on, baby, let's ride. Philanthropist, the everything, he's even helping other people, write books and all of that. He's a publisher. You're all welcome to Club Chit Chat, the one and only JL King. How are you, JL?
Hey, Sophia, how are you doing this afternoon?
I'm good. What's going on?
Oh, life is good. I'm still breathing.
Yes, we all are, honey, especially during this time, honey. That first knob over there, you could adjust the volume on your headset.
Gotcha,
you go,
gotcha.
yeah.
I hear you now. How you been?
I've been good.
It's been a long time.
I know, and I can tell you've been doing good because you're looking good, honey.
Thank you.
You lost a few pounds, honey.
I have.
You got to tell me your secret because I've been in search of my high school shape.
I have. I had to deal with diabetes, and that helped a lot.
Oh, really?
That's why I had to change my eating habits and had to exercise more. So I'm still healthy.
That's what's more important, honey.
Yes.
Yes, so you need to listen to our show on Wednesdays. We have Dr. D.B. Marshall. He's in here and he's giving us information on how to live healthier.
I know DB.
You do?
Yes, I met with him last week.
Oh, okay. Yeah, he gives you all that advice, honey.
Wellness.
Spiritual, mental, emotional. Yes. Wellness. You do know D.B. Marshall.
That's his thing.
I saw you walked in here with your lime green jacket on today, honey. I said, that's Oprah's favorite color, honey. He love him some Oprah, baby.
I love me some fashion.
Yeah.
I'm a fashion whore, if I may use that term.
What's your favorite color?
Wow, cobalt blue.
Oh.
Silver, white, black, all black. I have a crazy wardrobe. Probably will go toe to toe with yours.
I'm purple and I'm all colors. I love loud, vibrant colors, honey.
I do too.
That red, that orange, that yellow, that pink, that green. Purple.
I'm an art collector too, so if you come to my crib, I got a lot of beautiful, colorful African art all over my crib. So I like being around color. Color, plants, music, books. That what makes me happy. Especially during these times when all we had to do is stay at home all the time. You get tired sitting around the crib.
You just stay at home all the damn time.
I go from the kitchen to the bedroom, from the bedroom to the kitchen. I should be 300 pounds as much as I eat all the time.
Look, that's the Lord's way of telling y'all. Y'all go out and buy these big, nice, expensive homes and everything, and y'all don't get to enjoy them because you're always on the go. So now He has given you the opportunity to just sit down and enjoy each room, honey. I know you can tell us, what color is here, what color is there. How many? If you got hardwood floors, you can tell us how many lines in the hardwood floor.
Seriously, so my whole life is about going from Kroger's to the crib, Kroger's to the crib. Every now and then I try to get out and just have a little bit of fun with my friends. But other than that, it's Kroger's and the crib.
Kroger's and the crib. With me, I'm just doing I do a brunch on Sundays, and I was doing the show, the Divas and Dukes on Sunday night. And then every now and then I'll do the Monday night show. But other than that, honey, it's just like if I'm not at a show, I'm at Walmart.
Not Walmart.
Yes, Walmart, because they're making sure you got your mask on, honey. They will fight you if you don't put the mask on.
They were so sick of these masks, bro. I probably got 45 masks with different outfits.
Oh my God!
Seriously, the new clear ones that are out right now.
Yes, the shields.
Shields. I just got one of those in the mail yesterday, so I just got a whole collection.
Well, I have some from Walmart. Yes, one of my laughing hyenas, that you met my laughing hyenas over there on my YouTube page. One of them, she sent me like 4 or 5 shields.
Oh, really?
Yes, they love their mama. They love their mama. And speaking of love, honey, you have grandchildren and kids. And how has it been for you as a father and a grandfather not being able to see your grandkids during this time?
And I'm a great-grandfather now as well. My kids are adults because I was a young father. So they're in their 40s. And so my daughter is an educator in PG County in Maryland, and my son lived in Brooklyn with his wife in New York, and my oldest son lived in Ohio with his wife. My 2 grandsons live in Ohio. Then my youngest grandson, who's 5, lives in New York. But we do a lot of Zooming. We do a lot of FaceTiming. I try to be in their life as much as I can. my children run my life more or less. So you get to a certain age, your kids take over your life. They become the parents. You know, so they check in, where you going, where you been, how are you eating today, you know? And because I'm so open with them, they know my sex, they want to know about my love life, who you're dating, who's coming to your crib, they get really nosy.
In your business.
All up in my
But
team,
that's just
man.
kids, period.
Yeah, because they care and they love their dad, and they want their dad to stay healthy. And when the COVID hit, you know, because I fall in that category of high risk, they were really concerned about where I was going and making sure that I was doing what I was supposed to do. But I love them, and they keep me young, and they keep me happy and motivated.
Okay, you say you have kids in Philadelphia?
I know, Brooklyn, New York, Maryland, and Ohio.
Okay, the ones in Maryland and the ones that are in Brooklyn, New York, they're cool. But the ones in Ohio, we're going to have to get them out of there because they messed up the election.
They did. I don't speak to him anymore.
Ohio is red.
All day long.
Even Georgia turned blue this go round.
Exactly. But they're cool, and I love them, and I can't wait to see them again soon. We're not going to get together next week for Thanksgiving. We're not getting together for my birthday, December 4th. We're not getting together for Christmas. But my plans are to move to their area in the spring, so I'll be able to see them more often.
Oh, you can ready to move?
Yes.
Where you going, New York?
I'm going. No, you know, I lived in New York. That was my number 2 home besides Atlanta. But now I'm going to Largo, Maryland.
Oh, okay.
Where my daughter lives, my ex-wife lives, and so they want me closer. So I'm still going to maintain a place here in Atlanta. I've been in Atlanta 20-some odd years. Atlanta will always be home. My doctors are here. My friends are here. So I will always call Atlanta home. But I want to be closer to the family.
Okay, now, before we take a break, I just want the people that are meeting J.L. King for the very first time. Yes, you know, that happened. Yeah, you know, because we're all over the world, honey. We're streaming, and we're in Germany, we're in France, we're in Paris, we're in Russia, we're in Yugoslavia, we're in Bahamas. We are all around the world. So there are some people that are probably learning who J.L. King is for the very first time.
Let's introduce them to me, okay?
Yeah, tell them who you are, J.L. King.
Oh, wow. Well, first of all, my claim to fame is I'm the brother who wrote the book On the Down Low that was dropped in 2004 by Oprah Winfrey. That book kind of started a whole conversation about sexuality, about men who have sex with men but do not claim to be gay, men who are bisexual who can enjoy both. It also sparked a I don't know. It started a lot of conversation, a movement. You know, once upon a time, I was probably one of the most hated brothers in America because I brought something to the forefront and said, "Look, this happens." You know, it took me a long time to be embraced by the gay community, as you know. You know, they didn't like me. They thought I was talking about them in the book, and I never was. Never ever. The book On the Down Low was never about gay men. Never. It was about my own life and the friends I had who had wives and girlfriends who perpetrated and had cover girls who helped them do what they wanted to do on the low. And I wanted to expose that behavior, not to hurt anybody, not to point fingers, and not to show signs, but just to say, look, we need to check this behavior because at the time it still is having an impact on the spread of HIV. Even my friends who were out and gay at the time, who were sleeping with married men, but yet not being recognized by those brothers, was being used. And I want them to know that, bro, why are you letting this dude have sex with you, but yet he won't even speak to you if he saw you in public? You know, you show up with his wife or at church, he's going to deny you. Right. So you got to stop that craziness. And I just wanted to bring awareness. That was my only goal, Sophia, was to bring awareness. Oprah heard about Gayle King heard about it first. She called Oprah and Tamara Hall. Hall, I was living in Chicago with my boo thing at the time. And Tamara Hall had was on the news station. So she heard about me. She called Gayle. Gayle called Oprah. Then they started talking about me. Then one day in my crib in Chicago, I get a call from Oprah. And she said, "Is this J.L. King?" And I was like, "Who this?" "Who this?" She said, "This is Oprah. How are you?" I'm like, "Ain't nothing, no Oprah." And I hung up on her. I did. I hung up on her. I was like, "Come on." She had an Oprah book club at the time. You know, I knew what that meant if she would grace you with her touch. And then 2 minutes later, I get a call back from her producer, the Harpo, and they say, "Oprah would like to meet you. Could you come by Harpo?" And I was like, "Really?" And a couple of days later, they sent a limo over, picked me up, took me to Harpo. I met her. She was the first one who really gave me a copy of the book or showed me a copy of my book. She had it before I had it. And she said to me, "Well..." Hold on. We're not finna roll over that. You said she what? She had the copy up on the download before I had it.
That's a bad sister.
That's a bad sister.
She got a copy of your book before you got it.
I'm sitting on the couch with her, and she said, Galen, I love your book. I'm like, what book? And she reached up and she said, this book. And I almost passed out. And she said it was one of the most powerful reads she had ever read, and she wanted to have me on her show. Now, keep in mind, at the time, she had never had Elin Harris on her show, ever. And he's way bigger than I am as far as books. I honor him, and he's my role model. She's never had James O. Hardy on her show, ever. She was really funny about having gay authors on her show. So for her to have me on not only once, twice, 3 times, 4 times, I was honored. And I remember during one of the commercial breaks, she said to me, you know your life is going to change after this show. I said, yeah, it probably will. She said, trust me, it's going to change. She said, one thing I want you to always remember after you leave this studio today is never, ever, ever read anything that is Googled about you or written up about you in the newspaper or media, because it will steal your joy. And from this day, Sophia, I have never Googled myself.
You never Googled yourself?
Never. I don't want to, because when you go from that type of exposure internationally, the book has sold 1.5 million copies. You know, I've made a lot of money on the book. You know, I have consulted with other producers who have used the book for different things, for TV shows and plays. And the way it just changed my life. I left Chicago because I was in an abusive relationship at the time with my dude I was with. He was really jealous of my instant success, so he was almost beat my ass all the time. Nobody knew that. Here I am, the J.L. King brother on Jet Magazine, Ebony, People. And I had to still maintain a real low-keyed. And I didn't want the lies to come out. I didn't want people just make up stuff about me because of jealousy, envy, or not knowing me. So I was really low-key for a long time, as much as I could be. I had to have a full-time security guard to follow me around, because I did a lot of speaking around the world. Right. You know, everybody wanted to meet me, get to know me, you know, get money from me, use me, have sex with me, or whatever. So I had to really watch myself, and I made a lot of stupid mistakes back in those days, because I was new to this, just instant fame. Right. And it taught me a lot. It impacted my kids. At the time, they were in college, you know, so they were getting teased, oh, you the download brother kids, you the down low brother kids. You know, it was crazy, man. Then when I moved to Atlanta, that was a whole different lifestyle that happened overnight. Because all of a sudden I was in Atlanta, I bought this big ass crib in Midtown. I was having parties all the time, and had a full-time staff, or you name it. I had one dude, all he did was find me boys to have sex with. Then I had a full-time chef, full-time housekeeper, full-time dog washer, full-time landscaper, full-time massage therapist on the payroll. Right. I was living that. Living that life. Living that life. The day I got to Atlanta, I went out and bought a brand new Range Rover and a brand new Porsche. And then I hired a chauffeur service because I didn't want to drive. So you came here and you became a baller. I became a baller. A baller. And I met the ballers. Yes, you did. But we're going to take a break right here. And we're going to come back and we're going to talk about, I think it was so easy for Oprah to embrace you because you took a lid off of a conversation that the heterosexual people had been having for a long time. Right. But they couldn't get nobody to confirm it. So you confirmed what they already suspected. They knew it anyway, right? Right. And although, you know, you say a lot of people in the gay community turned against you because they felt like you were talking about them, which you really wasn't. Oprah embraced you. So to gain a friend like a Oprah Winfrey in a time like that I say that was a great exchange. It really was. But we're going to talk more about what you talked about in the book. We're going to talk about what are you doing now, what are some of your plans and all that good stuff. So we're going to be here just talking, having a conversation. Let's do it. It's not an interview, it's a conversation. Chit and chat. Chit chat, yeah, we're chit chatting, yes. Okay. I'm the girl, Miss Sophia, hold it down right here. We are your radio. We are your radio. We are the home of the urban sound of pride. This is LMA with Not Another Love Song. Back to Club Chit Chat with your DJ, Miss Sophia, right here. We are your radio. We are your radio. We are the home of the urban sound of pride. Today, we have a very special guest here at Club Chit Chat. Is the one and only J.L. King. He is an author. He is a publisher. He's a motivational speaker. He is a philanthropist. He is that and so much more. And we are so glad to have him here at We Are Your Radio on Club Chit Chat. Hey, J.L. Hey, Sophie.
Yeah, you got into your life that last break, and you revealed a lot of stuff that a lot of people didn't know about you, including me, because I did not know about the abuse that you say you suffered at the hand of the person that you thought you were in love with and that was in love with you. And could you just expound on that a little bit more?
Well, I was at the time that the book came out, I was living in Chicago with a brother who I met, and we was playing house. He was very possessive, a younger brother, very possessive, educated, smart, and very attractive. But as I began to get very popular, as I began to get a name around the world, even before Oprah, he had started to try to control me. I was much older than him, try to control me. After I had confirmed I was going to be on the Oprah show the first time, he didn't want me to go. He was really pissed off about that. He came to the hotel, the Omni Suite Hotel in downtown Chicago, to stalk me. I got him a ticket to come on the show. He sat in the audience, and the entire time I was on stage with her, he was sitting there just looking at me, fuming. When we got back to our apartment in the south side of Chicago that evening, we got in a fight. He would fight me, just GP fight me. One day he was so mad he took our dog and told me if I would ever cheat on him, he would take the dog and throw it off the balcony. He would follow me around. He would make sure that when I was at the crib that I was not having sex with other guys when he was at work. He threatened that he was going to call radio stations and TV stations and Harpo and tell them that all the stuff that we were doing together. It was an ugly relationship. So I had to leave Chicago. After I left him in Chicago, I bought a crib in downtown Chicago. He got access to that crib, so I had to sell that crib and move to Atlanta. I came to Atlanta, bought a crib in Midtown, gated community, and he came to Atlanta. Jumped over the fence one night, knocking on my door one night in Midtown. Called the cops. They arrested him. They sent him back to Chicago, and then I had to hear from him a long time. Then every now and then, over the past couple of years, he would send me a message like, I'm sorry, but I'm over it. So the story behind this is that there are a lot of brothers, no matter what you see on the outside, who are living in very ugly domestic violent relationships.
Right.
Nobody would have ever thought that this little young brother would beat my ass. You know, and I was scared because I didn't want him to be. I didn't want to be exposed. I didn't know what he would do. I didn't know if he would call my kids. I didn't know what he would do. So I kind of dealt with it and tried to dumb it down as much as I could until I was able to escape.
And see, this is another thing that you exposed, because at the time, you know, listening to that story, it's no different than Tina Turner and Ike Turner.
Exactly.
But at the time that you were dealing with this, and you had already took the lid off of the Down Low Brothers,
right.
And so now you're getting ready to reveal that domestic violence not only happened in heterosexual relationships, it happened in gay relationships, and you put a face on that as well.
Yeah, I never came out. I was going to write a book about my life of hell, but I never did. And I may revisit it one day, because again, I have a lot of friends here in Atlanta, New York, and Philly who also are in ugly domestic violent relationships, but they're afraid to leave, they can't leave, and all type of excuses why they stay. Sometimes the sex is good and they don't want to leave that. Sometimes they're well taken care of by somebody, so they don't. It's almost the same thing with a heterosexual relationship. They don't want to leave, and a lot of times I think that what I went through, I mean, he tried to kill me when he had broken into my condo in Chicago, he had broken into my apartment, and he took a baseball bat and he hit me across the forehead one night, and I woke up, I was in the ER in Southside Chicago in the hospital, and the doctor told me it's only by the grace of God did I not get killed from blunt force trauma. Yeah.
So where did you meet this guy?
Wow, I don't remember at the time. Probably some social dating app back in the day, Adam for Adam, or who knows where, but we met. And
so what was his occupation? What was he
social
doing?
worker.
He was what?
Yes. A social worker on the south side of Chicago, Brownsville. Most people from Chicago know Brownsville, and he was from Gary, Indiana originally, but he was living in Chicago because it's really close together. And I think he had some mental issues, man. He was very jealous.
So now this is my question. It's like, he is a social worker, and he is abusive to you.
Me, yeah.
All it took was you making one phone call. So what?
I did. I was afraid to. Keep in mind, at the time, I'm J.L. King, the famous little brother, J.L. King, that the whole world knew. And he would show up sometimes, or he would want to go with me when I did my book signings or whatever. And he would always be in the back just looking at me like, I'm going to fuck you up. Seriously, bro, it was crazy.
So what was the straw that broke the camel's back?
When he tried to kill me with the bat, and I came through. I couldn't tell my family about it. I couldn't tell nobody about it. I was living in this bubble where I couldn't expose my own personal life because everybody in the world wanted to know J.L. King. The Download Brothers coming to town. The Download Brothers showing up. The Download Brother, and so no, I couldn't expose it.
So this now that you're talking about this situation, it brings to the question. You went on the Oprah show. You told Oprah who you were. I am a brother living a DL life.
Sure did.
And now it's just like, I don't want to live that life no more.
Right.
I'm letting the world know that I like sleeping with women and I like sleeping with men.
Exactly.
So now you have gotten that monkey off your back.
Right.
So now you're having to go and live another lie because you're trying to make the world feel like you're in a relationship and you're okay, but you are in an abusive relationship. So now, does it feel like now I'm back hiding myself again?
Exactly, because I did not want. I'm thinking about family. I'm thinking about my kids. I'm thinking about my family and what would they say and how were they going to help me, because they were still trying to grasp that I was on the DL.
Right.
They're trying to wrap their arms around what? We never knew. And now I had this issue to deal with. But that's what fame brings. That's why I always tell brothers and sisters, don't always want what you think you want. Because it's a lot of hell that comes with that, man. I can share story after story after story after story of how I have been used. I don't know how adult rated your show is, but I can remember one time after I moved to Atlanta, I was dealing with this brother. And one night he got up, said he was going to the bathroom, and took a picture of my penis. Sent it to the National Enquirer and wanted $25,000 for it. Keep in mind, this is the Download Brother that the whole world knew. And my attorney called me. He said, "Yo, Jay, this guy's just sent a picture of your penis to the National Enquirer, and he wants he's blackmailing you for $25,000. Bruh, did you really let somebody take?" I said, "Man, maybe I was asleep. I don't know. I don't know." But they settled out of court, man. So I've been through a lot of stuff like that, which has made me a stronger brother today. Through my mistakes, through my F-ups, to my bad decisions and bad choices, it has made me, this old man now, smarter and wiser. That's why I think that I'm qualified to give advice of how not to live your life.
Well, we're going to take a break right here, but when we come back, we're going to talk about how is this person that was abusive, this relationship is over, I assume.
Yes.
And I want to talk about how long has it been over and what are you doing now?
Thank you. Now.
I'm your girl, Miss Sophia, holding it down right here on WERUradio. WERUradio. We're the home of the urban sound of pride. I am here with my very special guest, the one and only, the author, the publisher, the motivational speaker, and the philanthropist, and so much more, J.L. King. Come on, baby, let's ride. We are your radio. We are your radio. We are the home of the urban sound of pride, and you were listening to Sleigh Ride by TLC. That's right. We here at We Are Your Radio, we have already started playing our Christmas music right before the Thanksgiving holiday. How disrespectful of our CEO.
Yes,
let Thanksgiving have its own holiday. But I'm sitting here with the one and only J.L. King. He's an author. He's a publisher. He is a motivational speaker. He is a philanthropist. And he is all of that and so much more. But guess what? Above all of that, he is here in the studio right here at Club Chit Chat on We Are Your Radio. Hey, J.L.
Hey. I'm enjoying myself.
I'm enjoying this conversation that we're having. And someone else is enjoying the conversation as well. So, during the breaks, I like for us to talk about everything other than what we're going to talk about on the air. No questions. But, my supervisor, he keeps the conversation going during the break. So I invited my supervisor to take part in this interview because he's has a lot. He's engaged, and he has a lot of relevant questions and stuff that he's asking you. And I just want to open up the floor and just let him ask you one of the questions about a conversation that you all were having off the air.
Well, I think we were talking earlier about the pressure of living that double life, and then being in the relationship, being J.L. King, the download guy, and then how was that process for you making people understand that this is actually happening? This is actually who I am. What was it?
Oh my God! It was a constant mission for me. Wherever I went, I was always trying to like everybody. And when everybody liked me, I would give money away to organizations, HIV organizations. I would always try to say, don't hate me, love me, like me. I just begged people to like me. I got tired of that. So I had to find my own tribe, brothers who really knew me, who had been in my home, who had sat down, had dinner with me, and really got to know me. I remember one time when those days that when I was touring a lot, I got invited to go to D.C. And a bunch of brothers, D.C. was one of the most forward thinking when it came to black gay life. And I went to D.C. as a guest of Dr. Ron Simmons, who was a pioneer in HIV. And he invited probably about 50 to 60 brothers from D.C. to meet me at his home for a little cookout, because he got so tired of gay men dogging me out. They hated me, and he was like my big brother, and he was always trying to get them to know JL is not just he's not the person you think he is. He is not talking about you. If you're not eating pussy and sucking dick, he ain't talking about you. And he would break it down like that. So
that's important.
That's a key
Yeah.
distinction. So he invited me to his crib in D.C., Southwest D.C. I went, I got there, and another brother would talk to me. They would look at me like, fuck this. They didn't like me. So he brought me on the patio. He said, brothers, I know y'all don't like JL, but the brother has done a lot for our community. He has taken a spotlight off us because we ain't laying down with women. Why are y'all mad at him? Talk to him now. And nobody could say anything, especially when he said, if you ain't eating pussy and sucking dick, he ain't talking about you. And now one brother could stand up and say, I don't like him because I'm eating pussy and sucking dick. Ain't nothing I'm eating no pussy. So they can say, then they got it. And oh my God, he ain't talking about me.
Right.
He's talking about them other brothers who out there dibbling and dabbling on both sides of the fence.
Well, one of the things that we were talking about too during the break was that you referred to him earlier.
Excuse my language.
Oh no, hey, sometimes you got to keep it real and raw. But you were talking about Elin Harris, and he was sort of the predecessor to what you were doing. He was writing a fictionalized, assumingly fictionalized account of what was happening on the DL, and you took the fiction,
put a face on
it. So how was that responsibility? And did Elin Harris ever call you and say anything about it?
Before I got the book deal.
Hold on, I want you to answer that question, but we're gonna have to take a break right here because we're getting ready to bleed over into the 4 o'clock hour.
Okay.
So when we come up, I want you. That's the question that is on the table, and you're gonna give us the response to that question when we come back. I'm your girl, Miss Sophia. Hold it down right here. We are your radio. We are your radio. We are the home of the urban sound of pride. Come on, let's ride. You listen to Live Out Your Love by Tony Braxton and Kim, honey. I love that song, honey. I'm your girl, Miss Sophia, holding it down right here on We Are Your Radio. We Are Your Radio. We are the home of the urban sound of pride, baby. Are you living out your love? You should live out your love, honey, because you only get one life. You only get one life to love, and you better live it like you love it, honey. I'm sitting here talking to my special guest today, the one and only J.L. King. He is an author. He is a publisher. He is a motivational speaker. He is a philanthropist. He is a father. He is a grandfather. He is a great-grandfather, and most of all, he is a good friend. So welcome to Club Chit Chat right here. We are your radio, JL King. How you enjoying your experience so far?
God. It's been wonderful. I feel honored that you would have me. Like I told you when I first got here, I have turned down radio interviews because I had not want to be bothered.
I know that feeling.
But as soon as I got your text message, I said, okay.
And I appreciate it.
I didn't even think twice about it. Okay.
I appreciate you
because I have the type of love and respect for you.
Yes. That's every time I see you supporting us at one of our shows and everything, honey, you just always so down to earth, and you never know that this is the JL King. It's just like that when those celebrities come to our shows, honey, we don't want to bother them and everything. We just want to relax, because sometimes we know that although it's almost impossible to just be real and just be you and just be left alone and be able to party, we just want to give you that space to do that in our space. But we had a question that was posed to you by our CEO, Mr. George Daigle. So could you ask that question again, George?
Well, one of the questions that we were asking, and why do I have my mask on? During the break, before the break, we were talking about you bringing the truth to what Elin Harris was writing in fiction. So had you ever, after the release of Down Low and all of the Oprah exposure and everything, did you ever have a conversation with Elin Harris, and how did he feel about that?
Before the book was published, he told me that I was going to change the world. He said, bro, you are doing something that I could not have done, and you're coming forward and telling the real deal is going to really help my story more. He was originally scheduled to do the forward for the book, and if you go way back on Amazon, you'll see his name on the book, Forward by Elin Harris. But because of the money, books are money. So because of negotiations, he pulled back. I don't know if they didn't offer him enough to put his name on the cover of my book or whatever.
Okay.
But anyway, he had always told me he was proud of what I was doing, and I could not be here today if it wasn't for him. Seriously, he still is my idol. He's still the god of gay literature. He's still the man. He's still the person that I walk his path, and I will always give him honor. And I think more honor needs to be given to Elin Harris or his legacy. Mm-hmm. Yes. So one thing that I have done is I've tried, like I said to you earlier, I've tried to get more LGBTQ community to tell their stories. Mm-hmm. Their stories Sophia needed to tell her story. We tried a couple of years ago. Mm-hmm. Those stories need to be told. Right now, there's no gay books coming out from the major publishers about our stories.
So you're helping these artists publish their stories.
I help them write them. I'm a ghostwriter. I help them edit it. I get them published to J.L. King Publishing. I work with over 250 writers, independent writers. I got right now 5 writers who are telling their stories. My brother in Atlanta, a gay attorney, is writing his story about Black Lives Matter and how it impacts the LGBT community. Mm-hmm. A sister in Indianapolis who's doing a poetry book, and another sister in Ohio who's doing the book. But we need, especially in Atlanta, we need more drag queens to tell their stories and how they live their lives. We just need more stories.
You got to find them, honey, because some of them they don't identify as drag queens anymore. I'm a female illusion. I'm a female impersonator. I'm a
whatever the politically correct title is. Yeah. They need to tell those stories. Mm-hmm. Seriously.
And you hit the stage and you opened up the whole can of worms about the DL brothers. Mm-hmm. And you were married. Mm-hmm. And you and your wife, y'all went through some things. Mm-hmm. You and your children, y'all went through some things. And it's just like you exposed a lot. Mm-hmm. And you forced America to deal with something that America had been just like talking about under the surface for a long time. Since then, what are some of the positives that you have seen come out of you telling your true story?
The hundreds and hundreds and thousands of emails I've gotten from brothers around the world saying, thank you, bruh. Because of you, I divorced my wife. Because of you, I sat down with my family. Because of you, I came out to my church. And we got a lot of pastors in Atlanta because of what I've done who came out and created churches. Mm-hmm. Because of you, I can sit down with my son, accept him in his sexuality. Because of you, I don't force my son anymore to get married and find a girlfriend and make me a grandparent. Because of you. Mm-hmm. Because of you, I'm free, I'm happy, I can be myself. And that is probably the biggest reward I have gotten is because of you, you have set me free. Mm-hmm. To be who I am. Again, I still get a lot of emails from brothers say, bro, I wish I could. I honor you. I respect you, but I'm not there yet. But your book has changed my life. I've given your book to my daughter so she won't get caught up with a Negro like you. Mm-hmm. And I've always said publicly, I don't want my daughter to marry a man like her father. Mm-hmm. And most fathers want their daughters to marry a man like them. My values are good. My spirit is good. I'm a hard worker. I believe in taking care of family. But I don't want my daughter or any of my nieces and nephews or anybody to marry a guy who's going to lie to them about their sexuality and what they're doing on the DL. And it's still, even though that happened in 2004 or 5, it's still going on. Sophia, it is still.
Because the society that we live in, they are so hypocritical. They say, tell me the truth, but when you tell them the truth, they turn their back on you. That ostracize you.
That leads me to a great question, because you said a lot of gentlemen said because of your book, they were set free. Right. If you will, or able to live their truth. But on the flip side, and because I have to be the devil's advocate and look at the whole picture, there are probably a lot of people that say, you broke up my home. You took my man. Yep. You took away my veil. How dare you? How dare you? Why would you do this?
And one of the things that made the open center made me the ideal person for this movement is because I didn't come across as what most Americans think a gay man is. They want you. Right. They want. I'm a brother. I come in. I sat down on her, show her like, "Yo, what's up?" My daughter's in the audience. I'm trying to be thugged out, And a lot of America was shocked because of that, because they thought I was going to come out there looking like some queen.
Yeah, that's what they
No offense to the queens. No offense to the queens.
No.
All right.
But they were more accepted if I came out there switching and snatching and snatched.
So you think that gave validity to your story?
It did because I'm a brother. I'm a man. I ain't trying to dress. I'm not even
stereotypical. Yeah, I got
you. Most
you.
Americans still today think that gay men still are female impersonators. That we wear dresses and we wear. They still think that after all of this. That's why I think the media needs to do more in showing more strong black gay men. Not that masculinity is the check-all, but not show us as just being so femme. You know what I'm saying?
Right, and every time I'm in that space, I'm in the company of those people, I let them know. I say, it's just like in the heterosexual world. I say, you cannot say that all heterosexuals are A, B, C, D, E. I say, and it's just like in the gay world. I say, all gay people are not the same. And you have to deal with gay people on the individual basis, just like we have to deal with you all on the individual basis. Because we're all not black, we're all not white, we're all not Republicans, we're all not Democrats. It's just like we are different. And you only find out who is different and what people want to be addressed by when you address those people.
My girlfriends, I have more girlfriends than I have guy friends. When we're together, we don't talk about my sex life or what I do, but every now and then they'll say, I got somebody I want to hook you up with. I know a brother I want to hook you up with, which is cool with me. But they understand that I'm a man and I got kids and I'm happy. I ain't trying to be nobody but myself. So a lot of young brothers who are coming up who don't have role models, or don't have anybody to look up to, who don't have anybody they can go to and say, hey, I'm dealing with this, I'm dealing with that. That's why older brothers who have been around for 100 years need to step up and start being mentors to these young brothers and letting them know that you don't have to be a baby daddy and you still want to suck dick at night. That still goes on. Seriously, a lot of young brothers who got baby mamas, they still sucking dick. Seriously, I know too many of them.
But we're not here to expose y'all.
I'm just saying, be your true self. Live your true self.
But you would think in Atlanta you were able to do that.
Oh no!
And I know we got to go to break, but you would think.
You would think? No, I got a lot of dudes in my age group who still living on the low, hiding who they are. Isn't that crazy? How you gonna be 60 years old and you still on the DL? But you ain't had a wife or no kids, but yet you don't want nobody to know you gay.
Yeah, I'm DL. Nobody knows. Yes, sir.
And that's another thing I wanted to ask you, because when you let America know who you were, you had the wife element, and of course we saw her on Oprah.
Praise
you
Jesus,
and her
kids.
on Oprah. Y'all came back and y'all talked about it. She talked about how she felt betrayed and all that stuff. And then you had the kids element, and the kids. You say the kids were trying to process what their dad had just told them about them, and then they're trying to deal with their dad in an abusive relationship. Their dad is in an abusive relationship, so it's just like going through all of that. Was it worth it? And where are those people in your life? Where are they at now mentally?
After the break, I want to talk about my brother. I have one younger brother who I have not spoken to in 20 years because of this. You know what I'm saying? Just because of this. And my ex-wife and I are best of friends. We talk almost twice a week. She's my girl. I loved her. She took my virginity. I took hers. She understands. She just wants me to be happy. I took my first real boyfriend to a Thanksgiving dinner 4 years ago and introduced my man to my family. That was the kids, her husband, our friends. That was interesting.
So y'all are one big happy family.
We one big happy. They just want me to be happy. My son said to me he does not want me to date any guys his age or younger. And I like young dudes. You know what I'm saying?
You like young dudes?
I like young dudes. So he's like, Dad, don't you ever bring a young brother to our family gathering. Or I won't have a problem with that.
So, would he let you decide dictate to him who you want him to talk to?
He's married, but he just like, Dad, do not ever bring some 25-year-old to the family dinner.
Oh, all right. I'm your girl, Miss Sophia. Hold it down right here on WERUradio at Club Chit Chat. WERUradio. We are the home of the urban sound of pride. Now we're going to get into this song by LGBTQ plus artist. Listen, the title of this song, I had nothing to do with it. This is the program director, the musical program, and he programmed this song right here. I had no idea that we were going to be talking about Head. But anyway, this song is titled Head by Daryl Stevens. All right.
Daryl Stevens, North Ark, Daryl Stevens.
Uh-huh. He is a public speaker, yes, motivational speaker. He is a grandfather. He is a father. He is a lover. He is a friend. He is everything. And he is here at Club Chit Chat. Hey, JL, how are you?
Hey, what's up, Pm?
Yeah, you are educating us today.
I'm putting all the tea on the table.
Yes, you are.
I'm doing that.
Yes, honey.
The spirit in the room.
That's how you entered the stage, pouring the tea.
The spirit has come over me.
I've been on Oprah 4 times and talked to Oprah and told her all the tea, and you have written, how many books have you written? 17 books, and you're helping people. You're a publisher now. You're helping other people.
5 stage plays. I produce a couple of TV shows, and I'm negotiating right now with some folk in New York who want to turn on the download into a movie once this pandemic is over, finally.
And you have a book that's coming out next year, huh?
I have 3 books coming out next year. I have one called A Guide for Black, Gay, and Bisexual Men Over 50, Living Your Best Life. And I have another book coming out called Buck Breaking, which is a story about an African king that was brought to the United States and raped. You know, that whole buck breaking thing. And I'm trying to think about doing a children's book.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? I'm a writer, so that's all I can do. I don't know how I stay in my lane.
Right.
I stay in my lane, Sophia. I don't know how to do too much of any. I don't cook. I don't clean. I just write.
You just write.
And shop.
You're a sharp dresser, too.
I try.
And you're a very great supporter.
I try to support and give back. The more you give, the more you receive.
Yes. And one of the things that you say that's on your table, one of the things that's on your plate right now is you want to do something for the older gay men.
Baby boomers are the largest population in America. In the African American LGBTQ community, we represent a large chunk of that, even though we're not respected, nor are we given our props. You know, gay black men 50, 60, 70 years old in Atlanta don't get their props. We try to figure out where we want to fit in. We're still looking for love. We're still dealing with our health issues. We're still dealing with loneliness. And a lot of my friends in their 50s and 60s who are beautiful and handsome and masculine and successful, they still on not Adam more, Jacked and Grinder, looking for love. Just yesterday I had a conversation with one of my best friends who met a brother on Jack who tried to get money out of him, tried to blackmail him because he's lonely. You know, a lot of brothers don't know what our support systems are. Where do we fit in? How do we dress? How do we love again? How do we deal with all the sexual issues that we deal with? Because once you get to a certain age, sex is no longer a priority. You know, all we want to do is have somebody to love us and somebody to care for us. Not about getting in bed and bumping and grinding. You know what I'm saying? So I fit in that category. And I want to stand up and speak for older brothers, senior citizens, to have to stand up and say, use your wisdom, your life, and your experiences and represent. I'm going to reach out to AARP and I'm going to see if they will finance or fund or support or sponsor my program to empower older black, gay, and bisexual men, and eventually hopefully it'll be lesbians and transgenders and so forth and so on. But right now I want to start out with black, gay men 50, 60, 70 years old who need to know that you do not have to down your life because you don't know where to fit in.
Right. And since you brought up the transgender community, we want to send a shout out to the transgender community because this week is Transgender Awareness Week.
All right, shout out.
And I want to send a special shout out to the city of Miami because another transgender young lady lost her life, tragically this earlier this week, and she was the drag daughter of a very close friend of mine, Shayla Reese, and she was killed, allegedly, and they have arrested. She was killed at the hand of her boyfriend.
Sad. Domestic violence again. That crosses all behavior, sexualities. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It really does, and we have to deal with that. So domestic violence in the LGBT community, as well as dealing with senior citizens, senior brothers, to make them feel good about who they are and not have to pay for sex or put their life at risk. There have been several brothers in Atlanta this past summer that was killed because they picked up trade, brought trade to their house, and trade ended up killing them, taking their cars, stealing their money, and killing them. I have a lot of friends, like I said, who still on Grindr and Jack looking for companionship. You know what I'm saying? Looking for companionship, man.
Why do you think that at an older age, a more mature age, seasoned age, I'm trying to be politically correct,
Right.
men of a certain circle are still on those apps looking for that? Is it because there's no other social network that they feel comfortable with, or
no? Because of COVID, everybody's home. You know, they have clubs like Mix and Bulldogs and others where brothers go to and socialize, but those are more of a younger crowd. You got a few older guys sprinkled amongst those crowds, but they go there because they're lonely and they're hoping that they can get some attention. But a lot of the guys, they pay for sex. I mean, you get on Craigslist and you get on, they will pay to have a massage, you know, and for a sexual experience.
But why do you think that is? Because that's and you hear that. You hear that.
But I think part of it is because it's just like the norm to them, and it's just like they're in the habit of doing that. So you know, bad habits are hard to break.
If you are 65 years old, which is not old, and you are tired of sitting in the house by yourself and you have not had anybody. I was on a Facebook group the other day, and the question was, when was the last time you had sex? This dude was like 2015, 2014. What? If I go a week, I'm tripping.
But see, and this is the thing. But you know, and we talked about this yesterday. It's just like when we have conversations with people outside of the gay community, and they ask us these sexual questions, and then we be saying, you know, sex is such a small part of who we are and what we do. But then when we get into relationships, or we try to get into relationships, sex is like, you know, that's the top priority. I gotta have me somebody that I can have sex with.
Got to, no matter how old, because of Viagra and other sexual stimulant pills. I mean, real talk.
Hallelujah.
And Viagra is now cheaper than it used to be. You get a genetic pill. A lot of guys who are in that age group where they no longer can maintain an erection or get an erection can pop a pill and get it on. So that also drives their need to have some type of physical connection.
So it then makes me question: Is Viagra? What is Viagra? Is Viagra? It's just like with everything else on it. It looks like it's something good for us at the beginning, but then
it has consequences.
If you go on and let the clock run out, you won't be out there trying to find nobody on Jack and all these sex websites, because the clock has ran out. But because Viagra was invented,
give you a new lease on life.
Yes, you got a new leash on life. You're gonna kill yourself.
But what about just being lonely? Why don't you have somebody there for taking dinner?
But you know that goes back to what you were saying about men of a certain age and the sexual behaviors, and that puts them in the same category, not to mass them together, but it makes them predatory. It makes people become predators upon them because of their need. And like you said, the gentleman who went out looking for a trade and got murdered and taken advantage of. So that is a definite need to address why it is that men of a certain age feel that this is their only avenue.
And a lot of young guys are looking for daddy. They want a daddy. I want to have a daddy. You know how many times I get hit on a regular basis on, yo, you want to be my daddy?
Well, about 4 since we've been on here.
You want to be my daddy? You want to be my daddy? You want to be my daddy? Because, again, a lot of young gay guys don't have a role model to teach them how to be young brothers and take care of themselves. Instead, they're looking for a daddy. You know what I'm saying? A daddy. I got probably 5 right now who call me daddy on a regular basis. Daddy,
what you call them?
What you call them?
Son.
See, Daddy, you keeping it going.
What's up, son?
So, are you in a relationship now?
No, I'm not in a relationship. I got a lot of suitors and a lot of potential candidates, but I'm still very much.
You're taking
single.
applications.
I'm always taking applications.
Oh my God! Don't look like you don't look like you're really ready to just
settle down. Oh, I've been ready to settle down, Sophia, but every time I've settled down, it always ends up short-lived.
The spirit say you lying because you're out here enjoying.
Most people think I'm a player anyway. They think that I'm a player, but I'm not a player. I'm an old man who's just trying to Find somebody to spend some time with me. Go to the museum, walk to the park.
Oh, that's all you want. What is sex? You just said you have to have sex every week. You said I gotta have. If I go a week without sex, I'm going crazy.
Well.
So what is it?
75% of companionship.
So what's on the application to date JL Key?
Consistency, communication, open-minded, loving, and supportive.
What is loving?
Loving. Everybody wants a hug at night. Everybody wants to cuddle with somebody on a cold winter fall evening.
Where's
right?
You're absolutely right.
About sex. What is sex?
Sex can be any. Sex can be sex in the mind. Sex can be bump and grind. Sex can be other things that you know.
Oh, okay.
Shut up. You will not take me. Let me a drink.
So that's all you want. That's all you want. I know a lot of people. Matter of fact, what my phone? Let me get my phone. Let me call.
But they gotta be. They gotta be young. They gotta be young. They gotta be young.
I said this gotta be good people.
What's the age?
25 to 40.
What your son told you? Don't bring nobody young home. So he's not listening to you.
Home. I'm in Atlanta.
Oh,
I ain't taking him home. COVID says ain't nobody coming home with you. Amen.
But since COVID, you brought up COVID and stuff. But what I want to ask you before you get out of here is, we are now getting ready to have the very first African American female woman of color vice president. Now, we had our first president who came from Chicago, which you lived in for a long time. First African American president. Now we're getting ready to cross another bridge.
Amen.
What do you think about that?
Wow, I am just so excited. I'd be so glad when Trump would just get the freak out of the White House so they can come in and take over and do what they're supposed to do. I'm proud of her as a father of a daughter and a father of a lot of play daughters who look up to her. I'm excited that sometimes it's even hard for me to imagine that she is next in line to be the president. But because of Donald Trump and the stupid stuff he's doing, it's overshadowing her and Biden's success. Well, I think when Trump decides he's going to concede and go away, we really going to get a focus on what Vice President-elect Harris is going to be able to do. I was excited about Hillary Clinton as a female. So you can imagine how excited I am about having Vice President-elect Harris ready to walk in there. That's going to be a beautiful
AKA, oh my God, I keep telling everybody they don't know. If you didn't go to an HBCU school, honey, you just don't know what's getting ready to happen. I'm telling you, that day, everything is going to be pink and green.
Yes, everything.
Everything is going to be pink and green.
See, I live on CNN. I look at CNN in the morning. I walk on CNN when I go to bed. And you see young sisters like Abby Phillips on CNN, who's bad. You're looking at the other sister with the short hair,
you talking about that works with Joe Biden?
Yes.
Simone
Sanders.
I love Simone. She's the best. I hope they make her press secretary.
Yeah, she's one of the. She's in the running. It's her and Jean-Pierre.
Oh, really? Who's
Jean-Pierre? But she's another African American girl.
Is she African American too?
She was Kamala Harris. She worked.
Really?
Yeah.
But they deserve their spot at the table once Biden is in there because he needs to have a whole lot of black folk and Latinos at the table.
But he's already started with his transition team. Like, the majority of his transition team, they are people of color. And the majority of his transition team and people that he's putting in his cabinet are women. So he's already putting his money where his mouth is.
Yeah, I love it because of us, he got in. Because of us, Georgia turned blue. So I'm excited about what the future has for all of us. I'm excited about just a world change with this. Are you guys going to take the vaccination?
It depends. It's like Kamala Harris said during the debate. If Trump tell me to take it, I'm not taking it. She said, but with all the research work that is coming out, and then it's looked very promising with the research work on the 2 vaccines that are, leading the pack when it comes to these vaccines, I'll be willing to take it because it's like 95% success rate. So I'll be willing to take it.
Me too. I'm hoping that will give us some breathing room so we can go back to some type of sense of normalcy.
Well, the downside to that, hate to be the downer, but the downside to that is that the virus has already mutated for a second or third time. So this vaccine is not going to be the cure-all for COVID-19 if you have or contract the mutated version of the virus.
Stop it. Don't.
But you have to have 2. And I don't know the space, the time span in which you have to have the second shot, but they said you're going to have 2 vaccines. You're going to have that twice. But, Mr. Downer over here, we're not going to...
I'm sorry.
I'm sick of wearing masks.
Yeah, and I'm going to send his ass back to the morning show. He's not coming in here no more, honey, because we trying to bring everybody out, keep a smile on people's face, honey, get on. Get your ass out of here, Joe. Oh, but it's, you have the organization that you're working with.
Right. Again, I'm also the founder of the National Black Gay Fathers Organization. We have over 1,500 members. These are black gay men who are fathers and grandfathers and uncles and big brothers. Biological or adopted. Brothers who are gay, who really are sitting at the table and want to be a part of their child's life or a child's life. But from that, I'm going to spin off and do the national organization, hopefully, of black, gay, and bisexual men over 50. Mm-hmm. And provide a way for them to have support and education and support groups so they don't have to continue to try to fit in and put themselves at harm, and know that's okay. I think the older you get, the wiser you become. The older you get, you should be honored. Like in Africa, they honor their elders. Mm-hmm. They honor their elders. In the LGBT, the gay, black gay, they don't honor us as older men.
So we don't honor men, heterosexual, just black. Period. I said we do a
horrible
horrible job. We as black people do a horrible job of preserving our heritage and our history. We are the worst.
Our elders. I'm an elder. I know I'm an elder, and I'm proud to be an elder. So why should I have to be quiet and I'm an elder? You should want to honor the elders and go to us for our wisdom. All the stuff I've shared with you today, those are my experiences, my life experiences, and you can learn from my mistakes. Mm-hmm. I embrace my mistakes. I don't blame nobody for my mistakes but myself. And once you grasp that and understand that and able to accept your fuck-ups, as well as your successes, then it makes you a better person.
And then it's just like, just sitting here with you, honey. Sometimes I don't know if I'm sitting here with J.L. King or if I'm sitting here with T.S. Madison, because both of y'all have horrible mouths. Y'all dirty mouths. Just dirty mouths. No, but sometimes, like George said earlier, you just got to give it to them raw. Because we are living in a time where, because everybody is sugarcoated, these Republican senators and these Republican congressmen and women, they are not able to go up to Donald Trump and tell him, listen, dude, you lost. Get over it and get yourself together and get ready to get up out of here, because somebody else is coming in here and we don't have time to babysit you. And, while you sitting here licking your wounds, this virus is taking over this country and other things are happening. Unemployment is, at an all-time high. We just got too many problems. Yes.
I just found out the other day that if you lose your job, I thought if you lost your job, you automatically were eligible for an EBT card. And I found out yesterday, no, you're not.
Baby, they're trying to cut out food stamps.
You cannot get a food stamp card if you lose your job. That's why so many people in food lines.
Food stamps. They're not trying to get nobody no jobs. They're not trying to... And it's just like, and then they want people to go to work during this pandemic, talk about it's almost so we're riding the curve. No, we're not. But I want to thank you for coming and joining us today, honey, because I just really had a conversation during this last 30 minutes, because we're supposed to be in about 2 breaks by now. We did all the breaks at once. Wow. But I know you were getting ready to get out of here. But how can our listeners keep up with J.L. King?
Well, all my Facebook pages are at the max, of course, but just follow me at J. You put it on your thing, right? Follow me on Facebook. I'm trying to build my Twitter following.
Hold on, Grandpa. You trying to build your Twitter?
Twitter.
I'm trying to build my Twitter.
Twitter. Yeah, I don't know that much.
Yeah. Now let me tell you, what's your son's name? So don't bring no young people home.
My son?
Yeah, what's his name?
Brandon.
Brandon, your daddy just said Twitter. So I'm going to have to let your dad get him a younger person.
Right, to teach him the right. Ooh, see, I'm old. I know that I'm old, man. That's okay. But yeah, I just want people to just follow me and look forward to some big things I have going on. I'm going to definitely share them and let people know that I need your help. I can't do it by myself. I don't want to do anything by myself anymore.
Well, anything you have to do, anything that we can help you with, you're always welcome. The door's always open here. We are WERUradio. You're sitting here with the CEO.
I want to thank you for creating this platform for the LGBTQ community. It's needed, and I'm going to promote it, and hopefully I'll come back one day again to just share some more good stuff.
And I do apologize because I told him, I said, when each time he went to the Oprah show, she said a limo to pick him up. Why don't we have car service?
Why I'm on Marta? I'm on Marlin. I got on the Marlin train. I live in Buckhead.
You know what?
I got on Marlin.
Give me Oprah's number, and we can have that conversation.
That's okay.
Oprah.
One stop away on Marlin to Lindbergh train station.
And since you brought up Oprah, I'm going to say this and I'm going to let you get out of here. But since you brought up Oprah, I watched the interview with Oprah and Barack Obama. And you saw the interview too, did you?
Man.
Can I tell you what she has done to the interview game when it comes to a virtual interview? It is insane.
Yes, she has made the game that much harder.
She is at her house. Barack is somewhere else. And she has put Barack virtually in her house, and it looked like they are sitting across from each other in the same.
Yeah, you have to see it. It's beyond believable. I'm like, I quit. Well, I quit. I mean, she raised the bar
so high.
Right, exactly.
And the interview is so good. I'm going to go and watch the interview again.
His new book is out now.
Yes, it came out on the 17th.
Right, I want to get the book.
A Promised Land.
Right.
And he talked about the title and all of that. He just goes into so many details about the book and what's going on in the book. And honey, I have to go out and get the book because I have to read the book over the weekend. Right. Because of that interview. But go and check out the interview with Oprah and Barack. It's on Apple TV.
I will watch it.
Apple TV. But JLK, thank you for stopping through. I love you, and thanks for being a friend. Although you are all these different hats that you wear, each and every time I see you, you're always the same person. And I am so glad that knowing by you telling your story and how people have treated you and how people continue to treat you, you are still living your truth and you are in a happy space now. And you're still willing to help people who turn their backs on you when you announce who you were and your true story.
Amen.
LGBTQ community is proud of JLK.
Thank you, Sophia.
Any departing words?
No, just thank you again for this opportunity to just share my truth, and hopefully somebody will pick up something from it. If they want to get in contact with me because they're dealing with issues, have them contact you, and you'll contact me.
Now, before you get out of here, this is the last thing, and I bet you can't do it.
What?
Tell them the titles of all of your books.
No, I cannot.
Oh, you know,
just Google Amazon. Amazon will give me.
On the download. On the download
too many.
Cooking with JL King.
Right.
Picking up trade with JL King.
Holiday with JL King.
Reaching out to my old trade.
Stop.
How not to fall in love. No, right. But I love you. God bless you.
Thank you so
thanks
much.
For stopping by. I'm your
Happy
Miss Sophia. Happy holiday to you as well.
Happy holiday to you, CEO.
You're going to be by yourself. You say happy holiday to you, CEO.
Happy holidays.
Happy holidays.
Merry Thanksgiving.
All that.
Yeah, we already playing Christmas music, honey. Merry Christmas, JL. I'm your girl, Miss Sophia. Hold it down right here. We are your radio. We are your radio. We are the home of the urban sound of pride. From the Big Apple to the Big Easy.
Check me out. From the Big Apple to the Big Easy. We are the urban sound of pride.